I love that we all come together to support one another, to help really drive and boost the industry that we are in. Everyone, good morning and thank you for joining our webinar today. For those of you who haven't been in one of our webinars before, if you'd like to ask questions for Lesley, if you have any questions for Lesley, then please pop them into the Q&A box and I will be happy to answer these or ask these questions to Lesley on your behalf. For those of you who are watching across our social media pages, welcome. And again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please pop them into the comment box and again, we will be able to ask them on your behalf. I'm thrilled that Jamila Paul is here and joining us today, co-hosting the session with me. So hi Jamila, thank you for joining. Is she there?
You.
Ah, there you are. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. So Jamila, I will hand over to you to welcome Lesley into this session and I will see you at the end.
Thank you, Emma. So welcome, Lesley. You here? So Lesley, just undo, yeah, she's here. So good morning, everyone. My name is Jamila Paul. I am the Education Manager for Schwarzkopf Professional for the UAE, Qatar and Oman. And I am absolutely delighted to welcome Lesley Jennison, who is the Schwarzkopf Global Colour Ambassador, all the way from the UK at 7 a.m. in the morning. Thank you, Lesley. Welcome. How are you?
Good morning to you, darling. Good morning.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. It means such a lot and it just shows your pure commitment to your craft and to Schwarzkopf Professional. So please share with us, tell us who is Lesley Jennison, where did it all begin? Share with our viewers your amazing story.
Good morning. So hi everybody. Before I even start, I just want to thank you for inviting me today. I feel like I'm with you in Dubai. Oh. And you know me very well. You know that I've been to the Middle East many, many times over the last few years, and I am passionate about, I'm passionate about the whole craft, but I just love coming to your region because your hospitality, your hairdressers, everything about coming to your region is always an absolute joy for me. So when you asked me, even though it's 7 in the morning, I was absolutely over the moon to come in and say hello and join some ideas with you. So who am I? Lesley Jennison. I've been a hairdresser for 30 years now. And bizarrely enough, I didn't actually start off wanting to be a hairdresser. I wanted to be a makeup artist with film and theatre. As a young girl, my brother and I were taken to the theatre. We grew up in London. And we were taken to theatre because that's on your doorstep. And I was amazed at how makeup could change a character. And I remember, you know, having the binoculars, you know, the little red velvet seats, and you'd have the binoculars to see. And for me, it was Oliver Twist, who everyone will know that play by Dickens. And I remember looking down and seeing Fagin, who's an old grouchy man, and I could see that it was a young man with black lines drawn to be like frown marks. And for me, I really believe that was my kind of moment that I wanted to be a makeup artist. On that journey to being a makeup artist, you had to have a hairdressing qualification. And I think, again, you know what I'm like. I wanted to get a very, very good hairdressing qualification. So I applied to Vidal Sassoon. Wonderfully, I was very lucky. I got in. And in those days, I mean, it's quite different now, but in those days, there were sort of 40 to 50 assistants taken on twice a year for all the London salons. And this is a time which is, again, quite different in Europe. and the US are not quite the same in the Middle East, but you would have minimum 2 assistants to 1 hairdresser. And I know that it's like that in the Middle East still, but here it's not. We now have kind of 1 assistant between 2 of us. It's just the way the economics of this side of the world has gone. But I loved, literally from the day 1 of being in my training, and I wanted to go back to being, you know, there was 42 of us in this year, and this is the late kind of 80s. And when I finished my training 3.5 years later, there were only 2 of us, because it was a very, very, as you know, it's a very, very tough apprenticeship, very, very long hours, really, really very disciplined, which for me, I kind of thrived on that, and I just absolutely loved it. And I spent the next 18 years of my career at Vidal Sassoon, and I just loved every moment of it. So from there, I kind of gone up the echelons of you know, the how the rungs of it all went, and I became the first woman, but also the first colorist to be not only head of department and part of the art team with Mark Hayes and Tim Hartley, but also the very, very first colorist woman to be made a manager of a salon. And, you know, I think in my whole career, there's been lots and lots of ups, a couple of downs, but that was a really one of the big first, you know, highs for me to kind of this kind of discipline that I have in myself of pushing myself, you know, further and further to be the best I can all the time, which I really, you know me, I kind of can chat and chat and chat. And I'm somebody who feels even now after 30 years, I'm still wanting to be that person, still wanting to learn as much as I can, be the best colorist I can be. You know, like every client or every model in front of me has to be the best look or the best color I've ever done. That's kind of how my brain works. I've gone a little bit off kilt there, so sorry about that.
Amazing. So inspirational. And I think right now, especially, you know, we all need to be the best version of ourselves, and we need to keep growing as individuals. And, you know, it's just incredible, the journey. Yeah. So tell us about the Schwarzkopf journey. How did that begin, and how long have you been the global ambassador for Schwarzkopf Professional?
So 13 years ago, I was invited to do a shoot, just to do one shoot by Simon Ellis, who I know has been on this platform, and I watched it. It was very, very good. He invited me along with Tyler Johnston to do a shoot for Vibrance. It was a relaunch of Vibrance, obviously not the one we've just had last year, but 13 years ago. And that particular image, remind me, because I've got it here somewhere, and I'll show you. Now, had I thought about that, I could have had that ready for you, but I will get that out. It went on to win industry awards, and I think they kind of liked the kind of dynamics of how we worked together. And I was asked 4 or 5 months after that shoot to be part of the Essential Looks team, and that kind of exploded for me. After that, after being with that for a year, so I did 2 seasons of that, they then asked me to be their global color ambassador. And for me, I'm very, very passionate about Essential Looks, because I think for me, it's for every single hairdresser out there who is interested in our craft, in our art. And interest gives me shivers every time. It's for every hairdresser that wants to give their clients the best, because we work very, very, very hard on Essential Looks for it to be about global hair color trends. So global hair color trends are quite different from, you know, those short lasting trends. This is about trends that will take over for, you know, a few years. Color trends are quite long lasting, which is great news for us. For me, in my job title, that's my kind of biggest responsibility, is looking at what global trends are coming up, because we think about global trends as almost, and this is fashion as well, that it's almost always a reincarnation of something before. So whether that's, you know, whether that's historically, we've literally seen it before, whether it's nostalgia or whether it's economics. And economics, the easiest example would be back in 2008 when we had the global crash, and Ombre came out. Yeah, it was just kids on the west side of the States, on the Los Angeles side of the States, couldn't afford to get their heads on. It's not just there, but it was picked up. It was picked up by celebrities, stylists, clothes stylists and hairstylists, seeing it on the street and then putting it on celebs or A-listers, people on the red carpet, and that then, boom, there's a trend. So for me, essential looks is something that not only takes in these global color trends, it gives every hairdresser a 360. We now have this technology where with the A to Z, you can literally turn the iPad round and see the whole head 360. It's amazing. So we give all the hair cutting and coloring step-by-steps, A to Z. But we don't just do that. We encompass the whole look, from makeup, hair, makeup, clothes, bags, shoes, the whole thing. So you're able to show your client that you know what's coming up, you know the new trends. It's like a very easy talking point, and something that, you know, I'm incredibly proud to be affiliated with Schwarzkopf Professional, that they have made for the first time ever. You know, I'm emotional. I get teary at the drop of the hat. Makes me very emotional that they've done this. They have opened up essential looks to every single hairdresser that wants to look at it. And it's easy, just www.essentiallooks.com, and you can see our last collections, which we launched in March. The next collection we will launch should be September, but I think with everything that's going on, it will probably be October. But I really urge any hairdresser that hasn't seen it, why haven't you seen it? But anyone that hasn't seen it, please click in, because it's just this kind of whole wealth of beautiful, gorgeous imagery and fantastic information, and easy to access.
Yeah, it's amazing. So essentiallooks.com, you can see all of the recent collections. They're fabulous. So you've got some amazing techniques to show us today as well. We could talk forever. So before you do, just give us a brief outline. What is happening globally then? What is the new global trends?
Okay, so global trend wise, you need to think that things are shifting a little bit from what we've been seeing for a long time, which is balayage, sort of muted, shadowy roots and balayage. I'm not suggesting for a moment that's going to go away altogether, because it's still a very classic, gorgeous, chic look. But there is definitely this massive shift towards moving away to kind of more solid two-tone colours, and of course this kind of very 90s vibe of chunky highlights. I remember it vividly first time round, because when I qualified, that's what we did day in, day out. So it's been really interesting for me. It's been the one look that I haven't had to do lots of research, because I research everything for every collection. But chunky highlights, I remember it's like riding a bike. So I do have some imagery I'd love to show you, because for me, this idea of Alice bands, whether it's just an Alice band at the front or whether it's Alice bands running through the entire hair, this is the biggest thing. And I think for us, whether all our clients will go for the chunky 90s vibe of chunky highlights, and I have some examples to show you, or they go for the softer version, which is my first image for you. The softer version, in fact, can I show you some imagery now?
Absolutely, we'd love you to.
Right, so this for me, I'm going to come up. Can you just let me know, can you see that right? Okay.
We can see, that's perfect.
Perfect. Now, the black and white one is a very strong version, and I put that in because I love it. I did it for a show. I'm not saying that I would necessarily, you know, give that for clients, but I just love it, and it was a big job, so I had to show that. The other three looks for me are beautiful salon colors and beautiful salon techniques. And really for me, before I go into my technique, because my technique I'm going to show you is vice versa, and that's a super, super fabulous, easy technique to kind of reinvent your client in a 5-minute technique. But I just want to go over this very quickly, because for me, it's a kind of an exaggeration of what we've been doing for the last few years, which is face framing. And if you think of a classic face framing as being, you know, we take the foils on the horizontal through here, and then we come back and we do, hold on, horizontal this way.
Yeah.
And that for me is a classic face framing. We are going to do foils, leaving hair in between. Now, when we come to doing this Alice band of color, you can either do exactly the same sectioning as this, and you're going to work solid all the way through, or a true panel color or Alice band. The difference, can you see the difference? I've left it just on one side to make it much clearer. It's instead of just coming to here, you're coming much further back. You still do this piece here. You need to come out very, very wide at the sides here, because otherwise the way that the hair falls on the top is that you lose any of this weight through here. So for me, that's the biggest tip to create this either very heavy face framing, because that's maybe the easiest way to get our clients to go from simple face framing or you know, simple Alice band to go into a stronger Alice band, is that you just take a much wider section, and you, if you want, you could still do foils, but pack them in much heavier and still leave a little bit out. That's a softer way. For me, I like to go in and just do it really solid. Can I just, before I start doing my technique, I just want to talk about this color here, because I know that we're talking to hairdressers that are working with depths of very, very dark to very, very light, depending on the salons that you're with, or with the clients that you have coming in. Because this color here, this Alice band at the front, there's no bleach whatsoever. None of these girls, obviously the Asian girl here is bleach, but this is not bleach. This is 924, the brand new 924, which came out, I believe, Jamila, in March.
We've just launched. Yeah, Meaty Deserts.
I cannot tell you, the dash 24, so that's your ash beige, and the dash 42, so that's your beige ash. So divine. I cannot begin to tell you how much I'm using them all the time. This is royal, obviously, because I needed maximum lift, but the color on the back is the Vibrance. Just to let you know, the Alice band next to her was the original Alice band that I did last January. We shot that. Tyler and I shot that. And that, now she has a depth, you can see she's a South African girl, but she's got a depth 4. I mean, the most incredible. I don't know if I've worked with a model who had quite as much hair at that length as Micah. She's absolutely stunning. But that color on the front is 10-1 with 12%. So you can see, depending on the depth I'm working on, will give me the lift that I'm after. The blonde girl was a depth kind of beautiful Swedish girl, a kind of natural between a 7 and an 8, but a Swedish 7-8, so it's cooler. So that was very easy to get. I just have to show you this one color. Again, I'm sort of skipping things. Can you see that color at the back? Not the very, very dark, but this color on the back. That is 721 on a base 4, a natural base 4. And for me, this is one of the new colors that came out last year. The 721, but with 9%. and it's given me that beautiful, beautiful mushroom brown. So guys, I'm sorry about that. I'm going ahead. I just suddenly thought, oh my God, I must talk to you about that color, because for me on dark hair, I cannot tell you how much I've used it. I just did a job just before lockdown. We were in Greece and I used 721 and the 924. I cannot begin to tell you. I mean, I probably just took them out of their whole stock. We had so many more. We had like 22 models we were prepping, and I wanted that kind of cool tones, because I think, you know, it's another kind of global trend, is that these kind of beigey cashew nut kind of colors, very, very popular, kind of a move from 2018, 2019, where it's more curry kind of colors.
Yeah.
2020, 2021, definitely these kind of cooler, softer, muted tones, muted desert.
Yeah, and definitely for this region, muted desert is just
Absolutely.
beautiful. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's amazing. So we're going to see you do some hair now. Let's see your amazing technique.
Fantastic.
We're very excited. And thank you once again, Lesley, for your time this morning. 7
my pleasure.
a.m. in the UK. You're absolutely amazing. It's such a credit to have you part of the Schwarzkopf family. So
thank you.
As Lesley is setting up, I'll just give you a little bit of advice of what we're doing here now in the region. So I'm the education manager for Schwarzkopf Professional for the UAE, Qatar and Oman. We have lots of seminars, online seminars. We're looking to reintroduce our academy courses very soon as well. But we have some amazing, exciting education planned for the second part of this year. So obviously post-COVID, we're going to be introducing some very exciting new education platforms, our hair artistry program, our Trend Masters program. So this is going to give you the ultimate experience, and we're going to be introducing all of our global ambassadors, our regional ambassadors, to really support you in becoming the best version of yourself. So it's very exciting, and for anyone who's interested in any education, then please do reach out. So I am now going to hand over to Lesley, and I will come back at the end with all of my questions and answers. The chat box is already very busy. So Lesley, yeah, over to you. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you for a while.
Thank you very much. Okay, guys, what I want to give you today is a 5-minute technique that will change the dynamics of how your client's going to wear her hair or can wear her hair. And it works whether she has existing all over tint, whether she has existing shadow roots of balayage, whether she has existing old highlights. This technique works on all of those. What it is, it's called vice versa. And this is about being able to wear her hair, or his hair, let's not be sexist, in different ways. 5 minutes. So I want to show you one version. Now, this for me is a version I did a little while ago. I did this in Poland and shot this outside of the academy. I think, can you see it? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I did this with colors from, oh my gosh, from the Royal Takeover. So now if she wears her hair forward, like the big picture, you see one color. When she switches the parting, that's better. When she switches the parting, I did 4 foils of 7764. Hold on, 7764, which gave me that beautiful kind of richer tone. And then on the other side, I used a cooler color. So literally, I did a vice versa on both sides. So all over color. I'm on the top floor of my house, and I've not done a seminar or a live this early, and I didn't realize the sun comes in. So she can wear it down, it's one color. Shake it about, still one color. She changes the parting, and she's got this richer kind of tones. It's a shimmer of color. She changes the parting that way, and she's got a cooler shade. Now for me, that was because I was doing it on stage, and I really wanted to show people how easy and how quickly you can change somebody by, that was a matter of 4 foils one side, 4 the other. And then I did a global tint in between. Again, that's because I'm doing a seminar and I wanted it to show off 3 colours and also to show off a perfect finish. In the salon, however, I would normally only do one side. Now, here's the client. Now, for if you can imagine to yourself, this is your client that you have coming into tomorrow if your salon's open already, and she's got a bit of balayage. Now, if she still wants a little bit through here, that's fine, still do that. But what I'm suggesting is, if this block is definitely a side parting, I normally, when I show things, I like to show on a middle parting because to camera and to the audience, it's a little bit stronger. But this block is very, very strong on a side parting. So, I mean, that works for me. I am going to say that my client normally wears her hair here. Now, what I'm going to do is come round. If she wears her hair on this side, hold on, I'm going to see if I can move I can see myself a bit bigger now. Yes, perfect. Now she wears her hair on this side. If she has very fine hair, you need to come to the middle of the eye and put your foils in here, 4 foils. You put 2 foils, one side of the middle of the eye, to the other side. That's easy. If her hair is very, very coarse or very thick, and the reason I'm saying that is because in your region that is the case quite a lot of the time, then you come to the corner of the eye. Hold on. You come to the corner of the eye. Now, I never, if you watch anything I do, I never say come 2 centimeters up and 5 inches across centimeters on a 90-degree angle, because everybody's face shape is different. But if you work to the dynamics of the head shape, so if you're working to the corner of the eyes or the middle of the eyes, it will fit this person's head shape. So all I'm going to do is 4 foils. For me, this has not so thick hair, so I'm going to work to the middle of the eye. And the difference with this is I'm going to take my section as wide as my foil allows. So I'm hoping you can see that. Yes, perfect. So middle of the eye. Now what I want to do is to do 4 foils, packed very thinly together, and like a very, very heavy baby light. Now, when you're working with long hair, it's really, really not important to get too, hold on, I'm just gonna make sure you can see. Yeah, it's really not important to get too close to the scalp. Now, the reason for that is normally with much longer hair, you have a sort of heaviness through here and then it tapers off. Even with very, very thick hair, you have less hair on the very end. Now, if you're working on shorter hair or bob length hair, then you want to go as close as possible to the roots. Now, the other trick that I have here is that I'm not working right to the hairline. So you can see I'm putting plenty of colour and then I'm just feathering the colour in. I'm keeping an eye on the time. So I do really want to talk to you about a product that I'm going to, I really believe is just going to take off once, once we get back into the salons. And I know some of you are already back in the salons, but that is colour 10. So I do want to have time for that. Now, normally, when you see us do foils, we are very particular about folding the foils in and up. Now, when I'm working on long hair, especially very coarse hair, I don't fold this up because I don't want to have a crease, and the lightener or bleach, depending on whether you're allowed to say bleach, I don't want that to move. So I just push it up once. I do not pull the sides in because I want to take that as far as possible. Now I'm going to carry on doing that, and then I'm going to show you one that I've done previously. And the other reason I said to you that when I do very long hair, people with long hair normally will have a tendency to also wear their hair up as well as wearing it down. So what I do is not go right to the very, very hairline, so that if the hair is pulled back and up, you don't get this kind of little line of colour. Does that make sense? So if you imagine that she pulls the hair up, if I'm doing full, very, very tightly packed, heavy, heavy baby lights, so almost a slice, you're going to have like a little line of lightness coming through here. So if you come back just a smidgen from the hairline, I'm hoping you can, yeah, that's perfect. That will stop that. However, if it's a bob or shorter, when the client is not going to wear it up, then go right to the hairline. Now, with this technique, if I was doing if it was an all over colour as well, then I would put my foils in first, my 4 foils, and then I would do my roots in between. Right, 2 more. I'm going to do the whole thing because I want you to see how quick it is. Also, I mean, if I wasn't talking, it's even quicker. Saying that, I mean, of course, I'm going to be talking to my clients. Now, what I would do, because I really feel that we need to have techniques to offer our clients when they come back after lockdown, that is not just a regular tint, because they've all been in isolation. They've either been colouring their hair themselves. If you watch the news, you'll see that it's been quite, I don't know, it's a bit of a scandal for hairdressers, but there's a lot of talk at least once a week on chat shows about how to colour your hair at home, which is obviously something we desperately don't recommend. So you've either had clients that have been colouring their hair themselves, which then make them realise it's not so easy to colour it, but it's not that difficult. So I don't want to do all over colours. In fact, in our salon, we very rarely do just an all over colour, because the prices that we charge in London means that if I do an all over colour, why would my client come to me just for an all over colour when she could very easily go to a salon down the road that will do an all over colour and charge less? So for me, it's about giving my client just something a little bit extra, a little bit special, makes her realise that I'm thinking about her. Something like this, which literally is 5 minutes. I mean, 4 foils, you could do it in 4 minutes, really, to be honest. But because this is a block hair, it takes me a little bit longer. But it's something that means there's this kind of sense of client loyalty. I mean, we always say in our salon, or we never ever say, what I mean to say is we never say, are we doing the same again? That, I mean, it just doesn't happen in our salon. We always say, how was the colour? What can we do? Shall we do a little tweak? Can we put 4 oils in? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the whole technique done. So now if I had a client that needed the roots done, I would then now mix up my roots and put my roots on. If I had a client that was balayage, I would drop the level of volume of developer in this, do those, drop that right down, and then do my balayage with a higher developer. Here I've used Blonde Me, because for me, in a salon or on shows or on seminars, I use Blonde Me on everything that is a level 5 and down. I'm going to come sit down again. And for me, Blonde Me, it just has changed the way, it came out quite a few years ago now, but it's changed the way that we can colour hair that is a very, very dark and make it the palest blonde without any compromise to the condition. Normally on this colour, I wouldn't use Blonde Me, but on block hair, I would definitely always use Blonde Me. I've used it with 6%. Here, I want to now show you. Yes, you can see that. So now you can see how wide I've got that. how densely picked up that baby light is. It's kind of not quite a baby light, but you can see it's almost like a slice. So there's the 4 foils that's ready to be washed out. After that, in Blue Peter's Passion. Sorry guys, I forgot I wanted to show you this one. So this is one that is finished with exactly the same technique that I've just done there, exactly. So this is 4 slices. I did with bleach, the all over color. I did with vibrance, and I used 413. Yes, 413. So she can either look like she's got this beautiful dark, intensely dark brown, or we can part it. Now I've left it quite extremely lighter because I want to show you the difference of what you can get. You can then have something like that. She can wear it on that side of the parting and have a totally different look. Now, I have to stress, I don't do many clients with this level of difference in depth or tone. The clients that I do this on, I mean, this is great for a show because it's very obvious and you can really see what's happening, and it's very obvious to an audience right at the back of the room. But in a salon situation, I would normally do this just either 1 or 2 depths lighter, and I'd normally keep it in the same family, same tonal family. So, you know, for a client, if I do, let's say 665 and I do 865, the world of difference that gives that client for something that is so simple and so quick. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that. I think I could come back to Jamila. Time-wise, I think, yes, okay.
Yes, I'm here. That was amazing, Lesley. Thank you so much. And time is perfect. That was so quick. And
Good.
It just shows you that creating some personality within your color techniques is so important, isn't it, right now? Like,
Absolutely.
it's amazing. Like, it was just such a fabulous quick technique, vice versa. You know, have 2 personalities. Explaining that to your clients is just incredible. So yeah, fabulous, great idea. And I think especially now, you know, we don't really want to talk about COVID because everybody's so done with everything. However, I feel we obviously need to change the way that we work. So with quick color techniques like that, especially with our situation now in the UAE, we're only allowed 30% capacity within our business. So for us, it's about creating quick color techniques, and any advice that you could give on that would be amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, again, like you, I don't want to stress about Corona because it's been so hideous, but thankfully I know that, you know, we're all starting to come out of it. And like you, I know that you have 30% capacity. We don't know yet because we're not open until minimum 4th of July, but it's definitely going to be on a similar vibe. And we have, you know, apart from obviously doing longer hours and opening the salon 7 days a week, which is very unusual in the UK, as you know, we normally only open our salon 5 days a week. And that can kind of give us some level of control over clients. But we have this massive thing about doing these kind of techniques. That, I think, that kind of technique will be perfect to be able to be creative in a very salon friendly, client friendly way is perfect. For me, I think the biggest thing that will explode is color 10, because color 10 has been around. I'm going to take my glasses off. Color 10 has been around for quite a while, but I don't think people have realized how easy and versatile this color is, this product line is, because of the way it works. I mean, it's so easy to use because it's not like there's a different developer with it. It's 3%, 6% and 9%, like we always use. It's 3% for dropping, 6% for same level, 1 level, 2 levels, 9% for 2 levels, 3 levels. We don't really use 12% with it unless you're a country that has the speed lift, but not many countries have that. It's easy technically to use. You just got to get your head around the fact that this works and truly, truly works in 10 minutes. Because, I mean, have I got time just to talk very briefly about how it works?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's very relevant right now, because here especially we're having lots of clients who don't want to be in the salon for very long. So to be able to have a really quick global color application that's still creative but can give them the same, you know, professional results in 10 minutes, I think is an amazing idea.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the way that it works is it has this brand new, this not brand new anymore, but this amazing technology where the amino acids literally take the product and drop it straight in. So you've got the ammonia as normal. And in fact, with Color 10, there's a little bit more ammonia because it's the ammonia that lifts the hair shaft, opens the hair shaft. And then you've got this amino acids that drop the pigments in. Now, because they're quite heavily weighted with pigment, that's, for me, that's the way that it gets down there quickly. That is why, though, it needs to be on only for 10 minutes, because if you leave it on for longer, then more of that, the weight of the pigments is going to drop in and you're going to get something that's a little bit darker. But that's, you know, it's, you do have, let me tell you, you have a kind of a couple minute window. If you've got the greyest, thickest hair, you can still cover grey. You can cover grey with it. It's amazing stuff. But then I would leave it 15 minutes. But for me, that's the only time I would leave it 15 minutes. For me, what's incredible about this is that you now have, instead of a client sitting there for 30 to 45 minutes, you know, having her roots on, you've got 10 minutes and she's at the backwash and you've released that position. So for me, you can still be creative. You can do these kind of techniques. I've actually just posted on my Instagram a T-section tint, because I think this is a technique that we are going to be using a lot more than we have ever done before, because of the fact not only do a lot of clients not want to be sitting in a salon with other people around for very long, we as a business, and every one of us is our own business, we need to be aware that, you know, that our position needs to be released as quickly as possible. Saying that, obviously the first time they come back into the salon, I'm not going to be able to do a Color 10 because I know that I've got more work to do. But I would say every other appointment on my regrowth clients, I will 100% be doing Color 10. And I just, you know, it's, there are so many amazing things about this. The fact that you've got this whole range of colors that literally from a depth 3 up to a depth 9, and that you're getting, I think, unless you've used it, you cannot get your head around the fact that it does the job in 10 minutes. It's not to take away from Igor Royal, but the fact that you can do this and release your positions is amazing.
And I think really right now for our region, it's just such an incredible product for us, because, you know, we can service 2 clients in the same time that we would normally service 1 client. And with us only having 30% capacity of our team, obviously for us, it's about trying to ensure that we have as many people through the door in one day as possible. So I feel for us, it's a really great thing. So thank you for that, Lesley. So just a couple of things, because there's something that I'm extremely proud of, and you must be so proud of, and I'll let you talk about this because you was part of this huge journey, was Hairdressers United.
Oh,
and
yes.
So tell me more about, and tell our views about Hairdressers United.
I have to say, for me, I think, I mean, how amazing Schwarzkopf Professional was to get that. That's Annika, who's head of the Essential Looks team with Simon. She got that together in the space of 3 weeks.
Amazing.
Organised the whole of that in 3 weeks. It's amazing. Again, you know, so proud.
So just to explain to everyone what it was, because maybe not everybody saw it. So.
Oh my God. Well, it was part of the Guinness World of Records. So it was 24 hours of continuous online educational tutorials, and it was 39 hairdressers. And it crossed every single time zone and literally traveled the world. I mean, that sends shivers up you, doesn't it? I mean, the kind of education that was put across, obviously all free. This is, you know, part of this amazing industry that we're in, and this amazing time that even though it's been a little bit, you know, it's been hideous, the fact that our whole community has come together to share has been just beautiful to witness. But the education was colour, cutting, styling, barbering. I mean, literally it covered everything. Social media, it covered everything. It was an amazing thing to be part of. I was very, very proud to be part of that. And we did it. I think we went on for 27 hours in the end. And the fact that, you know, for me, I mean, I have to say that, you know, I think that was amazing that Henkel, the Henkel Foundation, you know, every single person that watched, Henkel Foundation put in $1 for a few charities. There was a few, Red Cross. There was a charity for hairdressers that you know, not able to cope so well. Just incredible. The whole thing was amazing, absolutely amazing. And it was I watched a lot of it, exhausting, but it was amazing, exhilarating, exhausting, thrilling, you know, inspiring, everything.
Yeah, and it was so interesting to see, like, that, you know, just the global trends, because as we had hairdressers from Australia to America, it was just amazing. And obviously in the UAE, so yeah, it was a very proud moment. So Lesley, what do you feel now? The whole online education, because of COVID-19, obviously has taken a huge hike, and we have some amazing platforms that our customers and our viewers can see, which is essentiallooks.com and Ask eLearning. Do you see this as being a huge part of our future now?
I do. I think it's been amazing. I think, you know, a lot of us have learned skills that, you know, I've learned how to do lives. The lives I ever did before were always with head office, or I'd have somebody from head office sorting the whole thing out and giving me the questions and telling me when to go and telling me 10 minutes, you know, to do it all by yourself. I mean, it's great. It's another skill that I've learned, but I do think people are really enjoying online education. I don't, however, think it takes away from one-on-one education, not one-on-one, but real live education, because I think, you know, the fact that you can do a dolly head in front, not just me, I mean, your local ambassadors in Dubai and the Middle East are just amazing. I mean, I've always loved working with them, but to come to an academy and have a block in front of you and learn the actual kind of technique, I don't think you can ever take away from that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And we really hope not, because we really want to welcome you to Dubai very soon, that's for sure. So we just have a couple of questions, Lesley. So colour trends 2021, what do you see like as the biggest colour trends? I know you went through the Alice bands and vice versa, but for us now, with wanting to do quick colour changes, what would you advise?
100%. The easiest way to change somebody is the heavier face framing, because it's easy to stress-wise on a client. It's easy that she's already had, most of your clients have had a little bit of baby lights around the face. That's the easiest thing to do, is to take that back and put more foils in. Say that you want to maybe eventually go to a solid band, but now what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to pack more foils in, and I'm going to take it further back, and then that's it. You can leave the rest, because if you've got balayage, that still looks good when it's a bit lower, but it's about getting this stronger Alice band of color. Have I got 2 minutes?
Yes, you have. And I think the whole like making it stronger is really important, because we want our clients to come back to us more regularly. You know, the whole balayage trend is amazing and it's beautiful. However, the whole Alice band or the face framing being stronger at the front is much better for our business, because our clients
absolutely. I mean, the one thing, I don't know what the time is, so the one thing about balayage is that, you know, if you Google how do I balayage my hair at home, there is not 10 posts, there's hundreds of thousands of posts. And it doesn't look good when people do it themselves, but you can get away with it. Whereas something like this, you cannot do yourself. You cannot physically get up at that angle. That's a kind of Alice band. Now, the chunky 90s vibe highlights. Now, that's better. Now, it's a very, very strong for a lot of people. So what I do is I do the top veil, very fine slice of the global color, or I leave it out, which means that then if she wants, she can buy into this trend of very, very, you know, this kind of chunky 90s vibe pieces if she wants. For me, for a lot of people, it means that the color is wearing you rather than you wearing it. However, we will always have clients that want to have it literally. I find it's a little bit too much. It was a little bit too much in the 90s.
Spice Girls.
So yeah, but you can still buy into the vibe, but it's softer and it's beautiful and it's, you know, you still feel part of that trend or part of that kind of global trend, but you're not a slave to it.
So Lesley, we've got 5 minutes and I'd really love you to share your new tool with us. Are you allowed to share with us the new tool that we are?
Well, do you know what? I'm sure I am, because I did share it on the Hairdressers United platform. So I'm going to share. I've done quite a few salon tools. You'll remember the colour melter with the colour melter tray. And that, very briefly, because we've got a few minutes, very briefly, because I have everything. This is my office at home. It's the fourth floor of the house and it's my office. The colour melter came from the relaunch of a sensitive quite a few years ago. And that is the colour melter, just in case you've forgotten. So, you know, you pick up the colour like this in a tray, but it came from this. I literally was in head office and I went up to the test studios and I had one of these and I got a knife and I cut lines into it. And then I got a tray that you'd normally have your little section clips, and I broke the lid off and I turned the lid upside down and I put a little bit of foil in between, stuck it down, and then I went downstairs to the guys. I said, this is what I think would be amazing. And 3 weeks later, they'd done a 3D printed version of the tray. And this, I mean, amazing. Head office are amazing. However, this came from, I was at head office doing a Blue Sky event, which is again something, you know, Schwarzkopf do a couple of times a year, and it's about getting people from different industries and thinking right outside the box to kind of formulate new ideas and new technologies. And Nina was there, who's now in charge of all the product tools for Schwarzkopf, and she had some very short kind of blusher brushes and stuff. And what I said would be really cool is if we had the blender sponge that you and I, every woman would know, the blender sponge which you put your foundation on with, if you had that on the top of a blusher brush. So you had something that was the same kind of length as a tint brush, so that globally everyone would kind of be able to work with it in a very kind of tactile, easy way. It's what we all recognize of how to put a color on. But to have, I'm going to get out of the way, so you can see that it's literally exactly the same shape as a blender. The texture is not the same shape, not the same texture as a blender, because that really wouldn't pick up any color. So what we did is we tested loads of different foams. We tested lots of different widths and lengths. This is the best one. We've been working on this for about 18 months. You know, it's taken a long time because every single one is tested to within an inch of its life. And I mentioned briefly on Hairdressers United, not that this is how I would recommend to clean this. It's very easy, run it under the tap. But it's been put in a dishwasher over and over again. Don't do that. But this is how it was tested to make sure that it's robust. You know, it's not going to come out of the holder. But the most important thing to say is it is a sponge. You need to make it damp, put it underwater, squeeze it out, just so that you see moisture, and then that way it will not pick up color and suck it into the inside. It will pick color up, but then transfer straight onto the hair. And for me, that is perfect for any melting techniques in any kind of situation, whether it's over bleach or not.
It's
and that
amazing.
comes out, I think that comes out September or October.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see the techniques that you're going to share with us for that as well. So we have literally, I think, 2 minutes, Lesley. So I would just like to say thank you. That was so much fun. We've been here for an hour. It feels like it was just incredible. Such a lot of information from you. So just share with us now, what is next for Lesley Jennison? What is happening next? What's your plans?
Well, tonight I'm doing another live for Schwarzkopf Pro on color 10. So actually, it's all on color 10 because I'm very, very passionate about people really kind of getting to grips with the color that we haven't necessarily used that much of. So that's my next thing today. Taking the dogs to the groomers after this. That's what I'm doing first.
Well, Lesley, on behalf of Schwarzkopf Professional, Schwarzkopf Pro UAE, thank you so much for all of your time today. You've been amazing. We did have more questions, but we've run out of time, so I'm really sorry. But it's been incredible, such an inspiration, and we're so proud that you're part of our family. Thank you, Professional Beauty. Thank you, Emma, for everything.
Thank you so much, Lesley. And thank you, Jamila. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. From Professional Beauty, we hope you stay safe and you all stay well. This has been recorded and will be on our YouTube channel this afternoon. So we will share the links with everyone that's attended so that they can pass it on to their colleagues if they were unable to join us. So thank you, Lesley. Thank you, Jamila, for hosting this session today. And yeah, take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Lesley.